Have you ever wondered if life on Earth might actually be alien? Not in the Hollywood sense of green creatures and UFOs, but in the very real scientific possibility that the seeds of life didn't originate here at all. This brings us to one of the most mind bending ideas in the study of life's origin, the Panspermia Theory. Panspermia proposes that life, or at least the essential building block of life, may have come from outer space. Imagine tiny life forms hitching a ride on comets, meteoroids, or even microscopic space dust, surviving the vast hostile vacuum of space, and crash landing onto a young, lifeless Earth to ignite the spark of biology. It sounds like a science fiction, but it's actually rooted in real scientific inquiry. Unlike traditional Earth-bound origin theories like abiogenesis, which suggest life spontaneously formed from non-living matter here on Earth, panspermia flips the narrative. What if life didn't start here, but arrived? This idea forces us to redefine what we consider homegrown and opens up deep into philosophical and scientific questions about our place in the cosmos. Is life an Earth exclusive event, or is it a cosmic phenomenon sprinkled across planets by the universe itself? In the next section, we will dive into the ancient roots and revolutionary thinkers who dared to suggest that life's first spark may have come from the stars. The idea that life might have come from beyond Earth isn't as new as it sounds. In fact, it dates back over 2000 years. The ancient Greek philosopher Anaxagoras was one of the earliest to propose that the seed of life exists all across the universe. He believed that life didn't start here, but was everywhere and could spread to places like Earth. Fast forward to the early 20th century, Swedish scientist Svante Arrhenius gave this idea a scientific twist. He proposed something called radiopanspermia, the theory that microscopic life could be propelled through space by the pressure of starlights. Sounds wild, right? But it actually caught the attention of scientists because the math surprisingly worked out. Later on, in the 1970s, astronomers Fred Hoyle and Chandra Vikramasinghe pushed the boundaries even further. They suggested that not only could life come from space, but that it still might be arriving. They even proposed that some viruses causing flu outbreaks might have extraterrestrial origins. Of course, these ideas were controversial, often criticized for being too speculative, but they forced scientists to ask important questions. Is Earth the only cradle of life in the universe, or are we part of a grander biological network that spans the stars? As we move on, let's break down exactly what panspermia proposes and the different versions of this fascinating theory. At its core, panspermia is bold, yet elegantly simple idea. Life is not unique to Earth. Instead, life, or at least the raw ingredients for it, could be scattered throughout the universe, capable of traveling across space and seeding planets like ours. But here is a twist. Panspermia doesn't necessarily try to explain how life began. That's where it differs from theories like abiogenesis. Instead, it asks a different question. Where did life originate, and how did it get here? Imagine a microscopic organisms like bacteria trapped inside a rock ejected from a planet after a massive collision. That rock travels through a space for millions of years, shielded from radiation by its own crust. Eventually, it crashes into another planet, maybe Earth, and if conditions are right, the organisms revive and begin a new evolutionary journey. That's panspermia in action. This theory doesn't just suggest that life came to Earth from space, it also raises the possibility that life might be everywhere, waiting to be awakened. From moons of Jupiter to the icy layer of comets, the universe could be teeming with dormant life, just waiting for the right conditions. And it's not just the theory anymore. Scientists have found amino acids in meteorites and organic molecules in interstellar clouds. So, what are the different ways life could travel across the stars? Let's break it down in the next section. Panspermia isn't just about one idea. It comes in different flavors, each offering a unique pathway for life to spread through the cosmos. Let's explore the main types. The first one is lithopanspermia. This is perhaps the most studied version. It suggests that life can hitch a ride on rocks, literally. When a planet like Mars is struck by a huge asteroid, chunks of its surface can be blasted into space. If those rocks carry microbes inside and end up colliding with the Earth, they might be just bring life along. We have even found Martian meteoroids on Earth, so the idea isn't just scientific fiction. Second is radiopanspermia. This version, proposed by Svante Arrhenius, imagines microscopic life forms being pushed through space by radiation pressure from stars. It sounds unlikely, but in the vacuum of space, even tiny forces can have huge effect over time. Could a bacterium smaller than a speck of dust really travel between star systems? It's a mind-bending thought. Third one is directed panspermia. Now, this one goes even further. What if life didn't arrive here by accident, but on purpose? Directed panspermia suggests that an advanced extraterrestrial civilization might have deliberately sent microbial life to seed other planets. It's a bold idea that shifts panspermia from natural science to intentional design. Basically, aliens as gardeners of the galaxy. Each of these types has its own evidence, its own challenges, and its own implications. But they all point to the same profound possibility. Earth's biology may not have started on Earth. Next, let's dive into the science. What do scientists actually know? What clues has nature left behind? Now, the big question. Do we have any real evidence for panspermia? The answer is not quite definitive, but the clues are intriguing. Let's start with what supports the idea. Organic compounds in space. Scientists have detected amino acids, the building blocks of proteins in meteoroids, comets, or even interstellar clouds. These are not signs of life itself, but they suggest that the ingredients of life are widespread in the universe. Extremophiles. On Earth, we have discovered microorganisms that can survive in boiling acid, under intense radiation, and even in vacuum of space. Tardigrades, for example, have survived space missions. If life can handle those conditions, why not interplanetary travel? Martian meteorite. Some meteorites found on Earth originated from Mars. Interestingly, one of them, that ALH 84001, had a structure that some scientists interpreted as fossilized microbes. While this is still debated, it adds fuels to the panspermia discussion. But what about the skepticism? Survival challenge. Even though some microbes can survive space for short periods, surviving millions of years in deep space while exposed to cosmic radiation is still a massive challenge. Many scientists argue that DNA and proteins would degrade long before reaching another planet. No smoking gun. We haven't yet found direct proof of alien microbes arriving from space. All we have are suggestive clues. No actual organisms that can be proven to have an extraterrestrial origin. So the case isn't closed, but it's wide open as science advances, especially with missions requiring from asteroids and Mars. We may soon have much clearer answers. But let's zoom in now on one of the key delivery systems panspermia depends on. Comets, asteroids, and meteoroids. Are they just space debris or are they cosmic messengers? They might look like lifeless rocks drifting through space, but comets, asteroids, and meteorites could be the delivery trucks of the universe, carrying precious cargo across the cosmic highway. Let's start with the comets. These icy bodies are like frozen time capsules from the early solar system. made of water, dust, and organic compounds. When comets approach the sun, they heat up and release gas and dust, sometimes contains molecules like formaldehyde, methane, and even amino acids. In 2016, scientists detected a sugar-like molecule called glycoaldehyde in a comet. Why does that matter? Because it's linked to the origin of RNA, a key molecule in life's machinery. Asteroids and meteorites, on the other hand, are mostly rocky, but they too contain organic matter. The Murchison meteorite, which fell in the Australia in 1969, had over 70 different amino acids, many of which are not found naturally on Earth. It's like the recipe book for life, sealed in stone, falling from sky. These space rocks also provide a natural method for transferring material between planets. A powerful asteroid impact can launch debris into space, and some of it can escape gravity, drift for millions of years, and eventually fall onto another planet. So, are these rocky travelers just cosmic clutter, or could they be the seeds of life, tossed from planet to planet by gravity, impact, and time? And if these visitors can deliver life, what about the organisms themselves? Can they survive the trip through space? That's what we'll explore next. If panspermia is real, then one thing must be true. Microbes must be able to survive the harshness of space. But is that even possible? Surprisingly, the answer is yes, to an extent. Let's talk about extremophiles, organisms that laugh in the face of extremes. Some bacteria and archaea on Earth can survive boiling temperature, high radiation and acidic environments, and even total dehydration. A species called Deinococcus radiodurans has earned the nickname Conan the Bacterium for its ability to survive radiation levels that would instantly kill a human. Then there is the famous tardigrade or water bear. These microscopic creatures have survived direct exposure to space. In 2007, they were sent to low Earth orbit, and when they came back, some were still alive and even managed to reproduce. Experiments aboard the International Space Station has shown that some spores, when shielded by dust or rocks, can survive for years in space. NASA and ESA has both conducted such studies, and the results are striking. Life can be incredibly stubborn. The key factors are protection. A rock or layer of dust can shield microbes from ultraviolet and cosmic radiation. Dormancy. Microbes can enter a suspended animation state, preserving them for long durations. Then reanimation. Once back in favorable conditions, some microbes can wake up and begin functioning again. So yes, under the right circumstances, microbial life can survive the space travel. The question is, has it already happened? And if so, did it bring life to the Earth? Or even carry life Earth somewhere? Next, let's look at some cutting-edge research that's bringing us closer to answers and may even shaking the foundations of how we view life itself. Science fiction, not quite. Over the past few years, panspermia has gone from fringe idea to serious scientific discussion, thanks to some groundbreaking research. In 2020, Japanese scientists confirmed that certain microbes could survive 3 years on the exterior of the International Space Station. That's right, outside the station, exposed to vacuum, radiation, and extreme temperature. Their survival supports the idea that life could hitchhike across planets, especially when protected by a rock or dust particles. Then there is the Rosette mission, which landed on a comet and detected organic molecules, including phosphorus, an essential element for DNA and cell membrane. It proved that comets are more than just dirty snowballs. They are chemical factories with the potential to support the chemistry of life. In 2023, NASA's OSIRIS-REx mission returned samples from asteroid Bennu. Early analysis shows the presence of water-bearing minerals and carbon compounds. It's a huge step towards understanding the building block of life in space and whether they could have helped spark biology on Earth. Meanwhile, astrobiologists are turning their eye towards Mars. Europa, and Enceladus, places that might harbor underground oceans or past microbial life. If life is found there, the big question will be, did it evolve independently, or did it share a common origin with Earth life? Some researchers are even exploring the idea of reverse panspermia, that life from Earth could already be contaminating other worlds through our space probes. With every new mission, we get closer to understanding our place in the universe and whether we are part of the cosmic family tree that began not on Earth, but somewhere among the stars. Next, the criticisms. Not everyone is on the board of panspermia. Let's explore why some scientists remain skeptical. Now, let's take a step back. As fascinating as panspermia sounds, it hasn't escaped scientific scrutiny, and for good reason. First off, panspermia doesn't answer the core question: how did life begin? It only shifts the problem from Earth to somewhere else in the universe. Sure, life may have come from Mars or another star system, but that still leaves us asking, how did it start there? Second, critics argue that there is no direct evidence, no confirmed alien microbes, no DNA that clearly came from the outside the Earth. While organic compounds in meteorites are exciting, they are not alive, and we haven't yet found a microbe in space that is explained by Earth contamination. There is also the survivability issue. Even though some microorganisms can survive short trips in space, critics question whether they could endure millions of years in interstellar transit, especially with constant bombardment from cosmic radiation. Some scientists say even the most durable spores would eventually degrade. Moreover, panspermia sometimes flirts with unfalsifiability, the idea that it can't be definitively proven or disproven. If we can always say life came from somewhere else, then we risk avoiding the hard work of understanding life's chemistry from the ground up. And finally, there is the Occam's razor argument. Why multiply explanations unnecessarily? If life could have arisen on Earth under the right conditions, do we need to invoke the space origins at all? So, while panspermia is a bold and exciting idea, it remains an hypothesis, one that challenges us to keep pushing boundaries, but also to stay grounded in evidence. And now, for our grand final, what does the panspermia mean for the future of science, exploration, and our understanding of life itself? So, where does all this leaves us? If panspermia turns out to be true, even partially, it would completely rewrite our understanding of life. It would mean that life is not a rare accident, confined to one blue dot in space, but a cosmic phenomenon capable of crossing planetary and even interstellar boundaries. This theory pushes us to think beyond Earth-centric biology. It encourages scientists to look for life in extreme environments, to design better instruments for detecting biosignatures, and to protect other planets from contamination. Because what if we are not just explorers, but ambassadors of life itself? Panspermia also reshapes a deeper question. Are we alone? If life can travel across the space, then the chances that it exists somewhere else skyrocket. Somewhere out there, life may have started before us, or maybe even because of us. And here is the wildest part. If panspermia is a two-way street, then Earth life might already be spreading. Every mission, every probe, every spacecraft that leaves our planet carries the potential to become the seed of life somewhere else. In the coming decades, missions to Mars, Europa, and beyond may not just search for alien life, they may find our distant cousins. So next time you look up the night sky, remember, you might be just looking at the family tree of life, written across the stars. The question is no longer just where life began, but how far it has traveled, and how much farther it will go.